Hey everyone, Trump yesterday night announced the inauguration of Project Stargate. So, in this video, we're just going to cover a brief introduction on what Project Stargate is, what might be its implications, and how it might impact the global economy, US economy, and what might be next for AI revolution. I do have some concerns as well in term for the Project Stargate, but we can delve into that later. But before that, a fun fact: there's actually a movie in the name of Stargate, and I think it's more about like the discovery, I think, of ancient ring-like device near Giza pyramids. Then I think they call some linguistic who helps them decipher those symbols, and those symbols kind of tell them that based on certain configurations you can activate the Stargate, which is basically a wormhole. Using that wormhole you can go into a different reality, or like you can go in past, where I think people worship an alien god in Egypt called the god's name was Ra. Then these people who went to this past reality, they help those people revolt against this ruler, and after that they come back to Earth in their current reality. So I think it's more about like fancy Star Wars. I don't want to demean Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but it's more like this fancy time travel 1994 movie called Stargate. I'm not sure if the product Stargate derives any inspiration from this, but uh, going back to what exactly the announcement was on X, let's quickly have a read through on this and try to see what we can decipher, right? So, the Stargate project is a new company which intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years. That's more than $100 billion per year, which is crazy. Building new AI infrastructure for OpenAI in United States, which is great. I think US wants to be ahead in terms of the AI race game. Now with Trump coming in, it's really beneficial because we'll have, I think there's a possibility of having less regulations, which means a faster development and a faster growth in terms of infra. But also, there's a very thin line on being fast versus not cautious. So I think US will have to tread those waters carefully. We will begin deploying $100 billion immediately, out of I think which 80 billion is coming from Microsoft. So kudos to Microsoft. This infra will secure American leadership in AI, create thousands of American jobs. So for people who thought that AI would take your jobs, it's actually creating thousands of jobs. So better upgrade yourself and start learning AI, and generate massive economic benefit for the entire world. Now, the massive economic benefit for the entire world is also very nuanced, because I think there's one important concept to understand here when it comes to massive economic benefit, which is the GDP, right? And whenever you calculate the GDP for a country, there is one factor which is called total factor productivity, TFP. It's something which is based on the technological development done by the country. So the more technologically advanced a country is, the higher the TFP factor is, and hence the higher GDP is, because GDP is more about like how much is the output of a country, right? So the country's output would be more if there's more technological advancement. So I think that's what they mean by generate massive economic benefit for the entire world. Going back to the news, this project will not only support the reindustrialization of the United States, but also provide a strategic capability to protect the national security of America and its allies, which is interesting as well, which means that they might be using the results of Stargate project in security systems, surveillances, identifying criminals, recognizing phone calls, which might be a threat to the country, and all that. The initial equity funders in Stargate are SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and MGX. Quite interesting to see Oracle here. So, considering Oracle and Microsoft both are competitors, it might feel that OpenAI needs more computing power than they can get from Microsoft alone. So, that's why they might be targeting Oracle. But it's interesting to see this angle. SoftBank and OpenAI are the lead partners for Stargate, with SoftBank having the financial responsibility and OpenAI having operational responsibility. So, SoftBank is more like, you tell me how much you need and I'll give you the money. OpenAI is like, let me develop some algorithms and give some amazing results. Masayoshi Son will be the chairman, who is from SoftBank. Cool. Uh, let's look at the technology partners. We have ARM, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Oracle, OpenAI. We have ARM and NVIDIA, which is interesting because both are chip making. Uh, I think ARM is responsible for making chips in mobile. Also, I think if you see Snapdragon, that's something that they produce. So, till now, I think what we have accomplished is we have a few financial partners. I think just one, which is SoftBank. So, clearly, SoftBank is leading the financial responsibility. In terms of technological development, there are chip industry players interested in this. There are also like data, compute, cloud services players interested in the Stargate. So, which is interesting. This build out is currently underway, starting in Texas, and we are evaluating potential sites across the country for more campuses as we finalize definitive agreements. Which is interesting because it means that if the build out is starting in Texas, it means more jobs for Texas. So maybe there might be a lot of openings in Texas for AI engineers and others. So shout out to anyone in UTD. Good opportunity for you guys. As part of the Stargate, Oracle, Nvidia, and OpenAI will closely collaborate to build and operate this computing system. Amazing. This builds on a deep collaboration between OpenAI and Nvidia going back to 2016 and a newer partnership between OpenAI and Oracle. This is quite interesting because I feel if Nvidia is also involved, it might be a bigger leap in terms of gaming, right? So I think gaming industry will see a massive change in terms of graphics and how AI can help in that. So it'll be interesting to see what changes are brought up in Xbox. But at the same time, I feel there have been changes in priority from a Microsoft point of view where they have partnered less in Xbox or they're focused less in Xbox but focused more on cloud services. So yes, again an interesting angle to see if there are new gaming players or Sony kind of doubles down on its gaming platform and uses Nvidia and OpenAI's output for its benefit. So that's definitely something to watch out for. This also builds on the existing OpenAI partnership with Microsoft. Perfect. They have maintained the partnership. OpenAI will continue to increase its consumption of Azure as OpenAI continues its work with Microsoft. With this additional compute to train leading models and deliver great products and services. Amazing. All of us look forward to continuing to build and develop AI, in particular AGI. Interesting, they've mentioned AGI. For the benefit of all humanity, we believe that this new step is critical on the path and will enable creative people to figure out how to use AI to elevate humanity. Wow. I think they have mentioned some very big words like AGI, humanity. So it'll be quite interesting to see what happens. But I think based on this announcement, I also listened to a uh, few news articles that covered this. I think Wall Street Journal News actually had an interview with the chief product officer at OpenAI. So the CPO at OpenAI also spoke a bit about what he thinks might be the future for ChatGPT. So that's something that's up next. So based on the interview that Wall Street Journal had with the CPO of OpenAI, I think a few items came into light. I think what they want to do in future is basically make models faster, smarter, and cheaper. They want the iteration cycle to be much more faster, meaning it took 18 months from ChatGPT 3 to ChatGPT 4, but it took like 3 months from O1 to O3, or from I think GPT 4 to O1. So with more computing power, I think we'll be able to have our model iteration faster, which is amazing. He also spoke briefly about agents, where the agents of ChatGPT should be multimodal, meaning they should be able to talk to you, listen to you, look at your screen, try to work with you. If you have any, like, for example, right, like if you have your kids' soccer form to be filled, but at the same time you have to like code something up, what it can do is you can just ask them to fill out the form by themselves and submit it, and they'll do it for you, and you can just focus on your coding, right? But also while coding, if you're stuck in something you don't really know how to fix it, you can just share your screen and ask them like what's wrong, and it can help you debug that problem. So I think from a developer productivity perspective, this would be amazing. They also the CPO also mentioned that they are starting to think about robotics, not at least in this year, but at least somewhere around like 2 or 3 years later, they might think about robotics. OpenAI has formed a small team for robotics, so I think they're just trying to see or tread waters and try to understand, hey, like, is this worth our investment? Should we invest more? So a bunch of people trying to experiment with robotics and trying to see once the AGI comes, can we plug this robotic stuff in and just be quick to market? So I think that's all I got from the CPO interview that the Wall Street Journal had with with OpenAI's product manager. But I think my take on what this project Stargate implies for 2025 and a little bit on 2026 is, I think, a lot to do with medicine and healthcare. I think the healthcare will improve tremendously. The reason we were able to get like COVID vaccines so fast, like imagine like such plagues have happened before as well in the past, but it took a lot of years to get the vaccine out. And the reason was we didn't really have the technology to kind of do this permutations and combinations of those protein synthesis that fast to kind of come up with a vaccine. With more technological developments, I think that's one of the reasons why the number of deaths in COVID were relatively less as compared to the plagues in past. Sorry, the vaccines were much more fast in terms of available to the market. I think also in terms of drug discovery and cancer detection, this money spent on AI infrastructure would be huge. Uh, right now, it seems 500 billion is a big number, but if you look at the benefits you would get in terms of healthcare, maybe longer lifespan, cancer detections might be easier, quicker. You can detect a lot of diseases which you cannot right now. With AI, you can detect it faster and also maybe cure it. So I think drug discovery plays a major, what do you say, advantage and in terms of impact of AI. Also, I feel ChatGPT or OpenAI, sorry, recently, I think last year announced Sora. Based on that, I think even there was a company in China also announcing one of the models which helps you in video creation. The only limitation there was like compute and also storage. If you want to create video, like AI generated videos, it takes a lot of computing power and also takes a lot of storage space, right? You need to train a lot of videos firstly for the model to understand how to generate a new video. Once you generate the new video, it takes a lot of power to compute and generate that. It takes a lot of time, right? I don't know how many of you might have tried Sora, but I think Sora took a lot of time to generate even small part of the videos. I think similarly we had different other applications come up trying to do video generation, but I think with this $500 billion investment, we would see a lot of improvements in video generation, which is great and also a little bit dangerous. From a dangerous point of view, I think all of you might have already been aware of deep fakes and how easy it is to have deep fakes. So with video creation, with so much money, so much compute power, and having those outputs faster, there is a possibility that deep fakes might increase what do you say, the intensity of the videos which are deep fake might be like several folds. Detection of such videos might or might not be easy. I'm not sure. But I think from a video generation point of view, it will be really great for influencers actually to generate videos because they don't really have to show their face anymore. They can just like type their stuff out, ask the AI to generate their own, video, and it can do it quite fast. So I think from an influencer point of view, I hope this is not being used for that purpose. But if it is, I think it will be a great boom to the influencer industry. Not sure if maybe in future Instagram can also like charge you $10 per month to just have like your avatar created and who's posting videos on behalf of you every day, right? Like I don't know how popular the influencer game or the following game would be in the upcoming next 5 years, but we'll take a look out. We'll keep an eye out for that. So I think we discussed two: drug discovery, we discussed like video creation, influence the market. I think the third one would be implications to implications to the gaming industry. As I mentioned before, I feel personally we live in a simulated world because if you see right now the games we have, it's very real. You can't really see the difference with, let's say, Facebook working on MetaQuest. Also, they're trying to make that experience more and more personal and real. Now imagine with like $500 billion worth of compute put in this infrastructure, AI would help this gaming industry so much that it will be difficult for you to kind of differentiate what's real versus what's not real, right? Uh, you never know. 10 years down the line, people might wear glasses like Ray-Ban or maybe like lenses, and they might be a part of a game, which again you might not know because you're wearing a lens. So for you, it might feel real, right? And maybe that's what we are right now. Like we might be aliens in our previous lives who are just wearing lenses and playing a game of yourself. You never know. But yeah, I think gaming industry would be really popular. It would grow tremendously. And again, medicines, I think medicines would have tremendous advantage here. So I think that's all the positives. Just looking at the numbers, looks like Microsoft will be investing like 80 billion. Recently, I saw like Meta raising like $1 billion or something, uh, and putting it on their balance sheet as like capital expense, which they will be using in this AI infra stuff. So, if I think tech companies are taking out so big amount of loans, right, just to kind of work on AI infrastructure and for developer productivity and whatnot, I feel it might be a difficult period for employees. The reason being, if they are taking out loans, they have to cut down somewhere because they need to save their margins and they need to make their investors happy. And the only way to do that is the reducing cost by like charging the consumers more or by not hiring many people, right? Charging consumers more is a difficult option because there are always competition and someone might win the customer over you by charging them less. So the easiest way to please the investors and to raise your stock price is by not hiring many people. So again, a lot of good and bad implications with Project Target. Um, Amazing AI infrastructure updates or upliftments for US, and I think I cannot wait for the next 10 years to see what's going to happen with AI. So I think we are living in a very interesting time. We are seeing a lot of shifts: the dot-com bubble, the cloud wave. This is the AI wave. I wasn't able to catch the last two waves, but hopefully I'm able to catch this wave. But yes, I think we are in an interesting time. So this is Amesh Anbag signing out. I'll come up with more interesting videos and updates on startups, AIs, and whatnot. But yeah, stay tuned and please subscribe. Thank you so much.